Okay, I really shouldn't have watched this video. I've seen this guy here on the web around a few times. I've seen a few videos of him, and I've seen people alleging him to be a valor thief. It's not my place to say, I'm not sure. I don't know if this guy served in the military. It's not my place to say. I just, and I try to be like that here on YouTube. I try not to point the finger unless somebody comes out and just outright admits, like the video I made here a while back over on the 155 channel, where a valor thief who came out and admitted that he was a valor thief, and this guy was, okay, I'm not going to mention his name because he's a scumbag, and turns out he washed out of boot camp and was claiming to be a Marine. But I watched this video, and like I said, I'm a pretty good judge of character. Alright, that guy that admitted he was a valor thief, I knew it from the first day that I saw the dude's channel. I knew that guy was a fake. Now this dude right here, and again, as I said, I'm pretty hard to fool. Let me first off say, okay, again, and all my haters, I know you're going to come over, and like I said, I'll leave the comments open for you to talk trash, okay? Let me first of all say that I don't agree with some of the stuff that this guy's talked about and some of the acts that he perpetrated or whatever and got into trouble with the law or whatever. That's totally sickening. I've been watching his video here though, and something just don't add up. Okay, this guy, he knows too much, dudes. He knows way too much about the Gulf War after 1991. After watching this video, and I'm gonna tell you, man, it's pretty hard to fake this with me, because I know my stuff about the Gulf, about Gulf War I. This guy right here, he okay. Now, I'm not gonna ever say this guy isn't a vet. Okay, I'm not gonna say he is, but if this guy isn't a vet, then he was around someone, and I'm talking around someone a lot, and he's talked to this person, and he knows a lot of stories, okay, that hit really close to home with Gulf War I. This dude is not, I mean, this dude knows too much, man. Okay, about 92 all the way to 2000. He knows way too much. I mean, and he knows things that you don't just find here on the internet. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna go through this video, man, and I'm gonna critique through it. Hopefully, it don't take too long. Okay, and again, like I said, I'm not praising this guy or anything, man. As you guys know, I'm a very open-minded person, and if I see things that that ring a bell, I gotta speak up about it, man. I gotta speak up about it. I don't know if this guy's a vet. I don't know that he isn't. I don't know. There's a possibility that he could have, made someone in the government mad. Who knows, dudes? I'm gonna tell you something, man. There's nobody out here that knows as well as many Gulf War I veterans, okay, how your paperwork can get screwed up. Your DD-214 can get screwed up. All it takes is for someone in DOD to do just like they did with a lot of vets in Gulf War I who served after 1991. You'll find a lot of those vets who went over there during different operations. They don't have an AFEM medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and they don't have a SWASM to prove that they were ever there, dudes. Trust me, this guy right here is speaking some truth about a lot of this stuff when he talks about Gulf War. He's not making this shit up. He's been around someone. Either he's been around someone or he was there. One of the two. Okay, and you're hearing that from me. You guys know me, 155mm. I don't go out of my way to protect valor thieves. Let's hear it.
And so, from this point, you were. Can you describe the team you worked with briefly, and then how you were sent out on missions, and where specifically the problems began?
Originally, we were deployed to missions throughout the Middle East, in various countries. The one that mainly I spent time in was Iraq, and that area of the Middle East. To most people's understanding, I think everybody thinks that the Gulf War ended shortly after it began in 1991.
Okay, how many idiots here on YouTube, including a bunch of pogues, one of them being a medic here, you know, who runs around flashing his combat medic badge. How many pogues here on YouTube have thought otherwise of what this dude's saying before I came on here and proved? Okay. Dudes, you've already seen this before, okay? The National Defense Service Medal, it didn't go out until 1995. That means this country's at war. CNN told you 90-91, Desert Storm. Yeah, that was the ground war, but that didn't mean the war's over. The National Defense Service Medal dictates when the war is over. And it went until 1995. This dude right there, when he said that right there, that's something that 99.9% of the Americans in this country would never know because they watch CNN. And this dude didn't get that from CNN.
However, I do have personal experiences that would say that the level of occupation and level of violence that the American military perpetrated between 1992 and 2000 would be surprising to most people, I believe.
All right, rounds were being fired into Iraq from 1992 to 2000. That's another thing CNN didn't ever tell you. And that's one thing another thing that struck me in this video, that what this guy is talking about, this guy was either over there or he knew someone very well that was over there. If, in fact, he is the valor thief that people are claiming that he is. Okay? Dudes, I'm not the type of guy that just put myself out on a limb to hold up for somebody. I'm just saying what this guy is saying right here is true. Okay? This is truth, what this dude is saying, which makes me believe that he was either over there or he knows someone that was over there very well.
Right. So, at this point, you were deployed with a team on these missions, is that right?
Right. Basically, the designation that we had was SEAL Team 9. Now, if you do all of your research, you find...
I don't know that this dude was a SEAL. I'm not saying he was, you know. I don't know, you know. Dudes, all I know is paperwork can be messed up in the military, and I've seen that many times. I've seen DD-214s that guys have been through schools, and guys have also been to certain war campaigns, and they never got their medals. Okay. You can't go by a piece of paper every time. Okay, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. You know, it just, like I said, man, when I see somebody and they're speaking something that a lot of people don't, you know about, which is a lot of what I'm going to go through in this video, is what this guy's been talking about. Yeah, this dude, again, he's speaking truth.
Find out SEAL Team 9 doesn't exist. That's okay. Until recently, SEAL Team 6 also had the same level of security, and also didn't exist until shortly after we killed bin Laden. And then a couple of months after that, a helicopter was blown up, and then SEAL Team 6 really didn't exist.
Okay, and they didn't actually kill bin Laden on that
I don't believe all that crap.
foray. way, so to speak, either.
Based on the information that I had during the time that I was in the military, I do not believe Osama bin Laden was alive in 2011 when he was reported killed.
Okay. So you were deployed on missions, and you were a group of 3. Is that right?
Yes, we were actually 3 groups of 3. We went out in 3-man teams. Basically, we were all trained to do each other's jobs, but we tended to do our individual jobs mostly. We had a team leader who was a first-class petty officer. We also had another member of our team who tended to concentrate mostly on weapons and protecting everybody while I was doing my job mostly. And then I ended up running the equipment most often and flying the Tomahawk missiles and the air surveillance drones that we would use to also cover our butts when we were moving around.
Okay, so you were targeting the missile, in other words?
Yes.
Okay.
From when I started operating in about 1992 to about 1995, most of the missions that we were performing seemed military targets and above board and worthwhile for the level of effort that we were putting into it.
Although we were not at war.
Although we were not at war, we were going after viable quote-unquote targets.
Okay, now, us not being at war right there, okay, that's definitely untrue, okay, because we were at war. The National Defense Service Medal was still in. That's the medal that determines when our country is at war. Now, there was a ceasefire going on, okay? Yeah, that's a ceasefire. But the National Defense Service Medal, yes, we were at war. That's a legitimate screw up. I mean, what this guy's talking about, it's still what this guy's talking about brings up facts, though.
Things that at least seemed viable from the outside.
Okay, but they were so in a sense, if we're not at war, for us to be sending a Tomahawk missile to bomb even a military installation in another country is technically an act of war, is it not?
It's very much
yes, that's a violation of the ceasefire agreement. But the National Defense Service Medal was in, so we were at war until 1995. 30th November of 1995.
It's very much an act of war and completely violates UN rules and regulations, yes.
Okay, and so you were doing this on a regular basis?
Yes.
As part of a top secret group?
Correct.
Okay, are you able to describe what kind of clearance you had?
The level of clearance that I had, or the designation for my top secret level clearance would be Indigo. And Indigo was a level of clearance that anybody that worked with Tomahawk missiles got that was related to SEAL Team 9.
Okay, so we're having a helicopter fly over quite low at this moment. Not sure why, but it's an interesting dynamic. So we're just going to wait just a brief minute here and see if we can hear it disappear. Okay, so at this point you were doing targets, and you were doing them in what countries?
Throughout the Middle East.
Do you want to name some of those countries?
Some of the big ones that everybody would recognize: Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, one or two in Iran, Yemen, Syria, Libya. Those are the ones that people would.
All right. Most people don't know this shit, okay? And that's the thing that I'm getting at with this video is, if this guy was never in the military, how the hell does he know this kind of shit? Okay? He just pinpointed every hostile Arab nation, maybe except for Syria. Okay? And, Sudan. But, you know, we were on unstable grounds with those countries during this time, which is how I find this, this is very weird that this guy knows all of this shit, okay? You know, no matter what you say, this is the kind of shit that, you know, it takes a lot of studying. If you're actually studying this kind of shit to put up a story, it take a long time to put up a story and know all this shit.
Hey, and would this be termed asymmetrical warfare?
Very much so. Based on the fact that the level of industrial revolution complex material that we were using against these countries, they had nothing that could counteract it or prevent it.
Okay. So,
all right, first of all, after the ground war, Saddam Hussein shipped his nuclear program over to Libya. Okay, and if you guys don't believe this, I could show you the facts here on the internet. This guy's talking about they sent these missiles into Libya. Well, that right there is not far-fetched whatsoever, because we've always been on unstable territory with old Gaddafi over there.
So let's describe the missile itself, its range and its capability, and then the idea that I think you said that ultimately you were targeting 2. Is that right?
Correct. Tomahawk missiles are, yeah, you like that?
Okay, we're having more helicopter flyovers here.
I'm wondering if this dude wasn't in the Navy somehow. You know, who knows? I'm not here to say that this, you know, calling this guy a fake or whatever, because I don't really know. But I'm wondering if this guy wasn't in the Navy somehow in charge of these Tomahawks. And, you know, maybe he's stretching the stuff a little far, but it makes me wonder if this guy wasn't in charge of these Tomahawks in the Navy somehow over there, and that's how he knows this.
I'm not sure what. We're in actually a shopping center in Malibu. I'm not sure why we would be having some flyovers here.
Popular.
I mean, there's plenty of helicopter activity in the Malibu area, but it's usually along the coast. Just FYI. Okay, so moving right along. The capability of the missile itself.
How Tomahawk missiles work, they're normally sea-based launch missiles.
Alright, hold up, let me fast forward this here.
Main explosive charge, and then the other missiles would just carry an explosive charge. Generally, I would deal with both kinds of missiles. However, the bomblets or the cluster bombs would have been dropped prior to...
That's DPICM, what he's talking about.
...me ever seeing the missile. That would have been done remotely, usually.
By someone else?
By the missile itself on a pre-programmed path. Cluster bombs usually are anti-personnel or small, soft targets. When we were designating targets, we were usually going after buildings.
Okay, interesting. So you also talked about the cost of each missile.
That was one of the things that we always questioned. They were amazingly expensive, $1.2 million each, and let's just say that the one unclassified thing that I can talk about Tomahawk missiles is to encourage everybody to get online and figure out how many were used between 1992 and 2000, and see if those numbers ring true with...
Dudes, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy, I don't know, and I don't care who don't like it, this guy was over there somehow. There's no way this guy's going to know all this shit if he was never over there. There is no damn way. Either over there or he knew someone very well that was over there. if, in fact, he is the valor thief that people are claiming that he is.
People have forgotten that for 7.5 years, we found weapons of mass destruction.